Cheers. As I said in my opening remarks, Las Vegas was a great time, and I'm so grateful to go to this conference every year. Thank you so much for your support in that. And I think I have a lot more wisdom about travel these days. Through experience, you know, it sometimes brings wisdom, not always, but I think it has for me in certain areas. And so both Reverend Eileen and I, we were traveling mates, and we chose to spend one day less than we usually do, you know, because she had things to do, and I thought, you know, yeah, and it felt right. So there was that level of trust that I've learned to trust, if you will. And so with that, I'll begin my lesson. It's in the doing, is the title today. It's in the doing. So I've just come out of doing, so I'll share part of that doing of last week with you this morning. And I begin with Ernest Holmes, and he tells us, each one should realize that there is nothing in him or her which denies that which he or she desires. There's nothing within you that denies your good. No matter what you've been told, no matter what you tell yourself, and it may happen again along your path of life, someone will tell you, oh, that's no good. Now, it may not be, but hey, it just might be. But you have to go within and do your spiritual practice, and then you'll know. Because what might appear to be the wrong thing as you start out might very well be your best thing. So we are here to celebrate living in love, isn't it?
There it is.
Hello.
The light.
I'm in the light. Isn't it great? It's perfect time. We are here to know and accept life as being joy-filled. We are here to acknowledge Spirit as the presence of this goodness, this God. And I know that God, as Sam, is shining upon me right now. It's all in how we deal with what comes our way in our path, isn't it? There.
Can I share?
I'm good. I can see, but I don't know how it is for you.
You can see.
You're colorful.
Thank you. I think another techie's back there now. Thank you, Spirit. So, we are here to celebrate living in love and to have the faith to trust in the perfection of this universal goodness, which we call God, or goodness, or livingness. In the science of mind, there is a universal truth conveyed, and that is this: it is all God. No matter what other name you may call it, and please personalize it for you. Because God is in everything, all things. But it's all God. It's all good. The proof of your faith of this goodness is your life. Is your life. Whatever you believe you are, that you say you are, that you say I am about, is where you are. You have an agreement with that. You're living proof of being in the doing of living your statements about who you are. So, when I was in Vegas, in this doing business, and this trust, and this living proof of what we believe in, I've learned to really trust the situation I'm in, to bless it, and then look into what might be also possible for the next step. What might appear to be a conflict or a stop sign to travel or your experience. So we arrived at the airport in Sacramento. We have at least 2 hours. Eileen's a great driver.
Pedal to the metal.
You ever get a chance to ride with her? Hang on.
Hang
Hang on.
Fasten your seatbelt.
Fasten your seatbelt. And your mind. Boy, I love her. But, so, I move on. So we pull to the economy lot. It's full. It's closed. Can't get in. Oh my gosh. I said, well, just drive around. There's got to be something else. You know, and I said, besides, remember, we're sharing the cost of the parking. $1, whatever that is. I'm only going for 4 days. Okay. So I'm reassuring her. She's driving. Finally, she decides to let me off at check-in. And I want your bag too, for some reason. I wasn't aware that I could check in 2 bags. So I'm struggling with these bags. Going, okay, the line is, whoa. And about that time, up walks a person from outside and says, you know, curbside check-in has about 2 people. Well, there was my cue. Some people just stood there, stood in line. Not me. Checked them both in about 10 minutes. So that's being in the moment, looking around, being conscious, and listening to Spirit. There's always a way to make your way easier. Now you could choose to stay in the long line. That's okay too. There's a reason for that. Maybe you're going to meet somebody you are going to fall in love with for 20 minutes or the rest of your life. You don't know. Or get the good information about your business that you need to know. You never know about being in line in airports. I love airports. I love airports. So we get to Las Vegas, and we're about a half hour early for check-in. And they said, well, we'll just check in and we can store our bags. But they said, oh, look, wait, 2 rooms just opened up. Another experience. And throughout the conference, I found out that the registration desk had a bit of a, what would it be called? Spot the ministers before they check in. They're the happy ones. They don't give us any garbage. And they were correct. They told us 98% of the time. So I do know that we carry with us who we are. And it goes before us to be recognized. So what are you putting out there? You know, what are you putting out there? That's what I came away with. So it really supports my title. It's in the doing. It's how we do our life. When you show up as the divine light that you were born with, people notice. People can't help but notice. So how are you doing your life? And is the doing done with faith and trust? That's been big for me. The trust of the feeling, the faith in the process. And it continues to be, which I think is good, because it gets some of the old seedlings of thought that I've lived my life from and with all these years, these last 125 years. There's still little roots here and there. And so it allows me to recognize, oh, that's still there. Well, I don't want that anymore. So I put some spiritual Roundup on that. And it,
I like
so get some of that. It really works. It's not in the bookstore. So, and are you accepting the perfect timing of Spirit of God in your life? Because it's always perfect. Do you become alive when you think of the possibilities of life? Because they are infinite. Or do you get stuck? There's this inner voice, this urge of Spirit that needs to be expressed. And when you listen, it's, oh my God. What is, oh my God? But oh my God, that feels so right. That feels so right. No matter what anybody else will tell you, or you, because they will. When you know it's right, you must do that right thing. But it takes a little more than just hearing the good news from within. You must accept the gift of the good and then do something with it. Or it just sits there unopened like a pretty little kid. Isn't that pretty? Nice bow. Then at times the bow kind of goes and gets dusty. Still wrapped up, all beat up, but the gift's on the side. All of us have had good ideas, haven't we? I have a few. Well, and they arise from where? Out of our universal goodness consciousness, the storehouse of spirit. And they need to be acted upon. Sometimes we do it, sometimes we don't. It's all choice. If you say no, it's okay. You're right. It's okay. But what if you said yes? What if you said yes to something that just was so pushing up inside you that you could not stand it? You let it out. Where would you be if you had said yes? Said yes to those great ideas. Where would you be today? Well, you'd be right here. Because they were all great. They were all great. They got you here. How often have you had a good idea this week? Did you have any?
Yes.
Yeah. What'd you do with them? Did you act on them?
Yes.
Good. Great. Did you say, oh, no, thank you, not today. Not for me. Not for me. I don't want to hear about it. Okay, unless it's working. What happens here stays here. Or is that Vegas? What happens here is shared in the world. And that's the call of the day. You share yourself what you learn about yourself in this spiritual center. And you go out into the world and live it and show it. And people ask you, hey, you look great. What have you been doing? What would you tell them? What would you tell them? Spirit must express. Remember that. And it will. It will do it through you. It won't do it through my spirit, my good won't do it through you. I can express my spirit to you, but then you must express your own. Trusting is such a big word, a big definition. I was raised with lots of trust in my life. And those of you that have heard me many years ago, one of my first talks was on trust. And my parents trusted me. Handed me the car keys. We had the family car. And said, here's the car, you know we trust you. It's a lot of responsibility. And it is. Trust is a big responsibility. And when we trust Spirit as behind our good ideas, it can be a little scary. But it's time to do it. It's time to move into the idea. So as you begin down your road of good ideas, you're in your, we'll use the car as the vehicle. This is your idea. You're looking out the windshield. Why is the windshield bigger than the rearview mirror?
Where you're going.
Yes. It's bigger because it's possibility. It's a broader view of what's ahead. The rearview mirror is for reference only. If we get stuck in the rearview mirror, what we're doing is we're living in what was. The drama, the trauma, the old stories, and you know this teaching, what you believe and what you give your power to, shows up in your life. So what we're doing is recreating all that stuff. So I prefer the broader view of looking forward. It's that nudge. As I was in Vegas, I was walking through the casino. just to get out. They have it beautifully engineered, those architects of casinos. There is no straight line. It's kind of like life.
No clocks either.
Yeah, you're right. But there's lots of things to distract one along these very orchestrated angle crisscross pathways. There's ding a ding a ding and go over here, and there's cute little things with opportunities and but there's all these distractions, and I tend to get lost. It's like I needed my GPS, and I joked about it to a couple of my colleagues. Okay, starting here, and track yourself out, and then retrace, and then put yourself. But I would get turned around until the very last day. I was so glad to come home. But it's such a metaphor for our life. We start down the path, and we get a distraction over here, and we get back on. We go over here, and then we get back on. Now, it's all okay, as long as you remind yourself to get back on the path. You may need that little slot machine or that table of life for a while. It's okay. Don't beat yourself up. The path of life is not always straight, and it's filled with distractions. You could look at them. You could enjoy them. There was a speaker who talked about a retired minister, Cliff Christopherson. Maybe you've heard of him, Rich Church, Poor Church. It's his book. Great book. Great speaker. Retired minister from Alabama. More fundamental, he says, but same stuff. I'll talk God, he said. He said he got to the hotel early the day before his talk. He went out the door and he says, Las Vegas, such a friendly place. Such a friendly place. There's all these places to eat and great architecture, and everybody's so friendly and kind. He says, there were these two lovely young ladies. They was just so kind and sweet and wholesome looking. He said, they didn't know me, but they invited me to a free party. I said, sometimes I have to get, but wasn't that kind? So there's all kinds of distractions of life that come our way. The key is to be aware and observe. So when we are in our vehicle of life, our view from the driver's seat, it can be our prison, or it can be our salvation, if you will. It can be our future, or we can be a prisoner of our past if we're stuck in the driver's seat looking back. So what do you expect to have as your life from this point forward? What do you expect? Do you write it down? You want to be in love, but you're thinking, no, not me. Haven't found it yet. Or I had the best and now I don't. Do you want to have better finances? Maybe you are really in debt. Maybe you want a different job and feel trapped in your old one. You're looking in the rearview mirror. That's what you're doing. There is the potential of spirit in your life to have for you. It's already in life. We just need to change our view. Expect things to change and expect to excel. I love that statement. Learned that at conference. Expect things to change. And they will. That's what we teach. Change your thinking, change your life. Because we've changed our mind about what it is we accept. So, my friends, trust the voice of God in your life. Listen for the wisdom. I know that life by divine nature is in perfect balance because I've felt it a few times. I really have. And it's so sweet. And the perfect balance of life is like it's like water. The molecules of water. There are two molecules in water. Two not molecules, but there's two factors. There's a hydrogen and oxygen. And the formula for water is H2. Oh, 2 molecules of hydrogen, 1 of oxygen. There is no other way water can be formed. Otherwise, it's air and hydrogen. Just, there's the perfect balance. And so every time we come into perfect balance with our nature, our spiritual nature, it's like forming water. It's the perfect balance of all the particles and the pieces coming into manifestation. And so look for that in your life. Get into the flow of what Spirit has in store for you. Your manifestations, your life right now, is a result of all your believing, all of your thinking, and all of your doing up to this point. Ernest Holmes tells us, our part is to be ready and willing to be guided into truth and liberty. If in the making of a demonstration, which is our life, it becomes necessary to change our mode of living, then the law will point the way and we will follow. Will you follow that? It's kind of scary, isn't it, sometimes? I know a lot of you have made lots of changes in your life, so have I. And you've done it very well. Done it very well. So friends, where there's a will, there is a wall. But where there is willingness, there's a way. And that's a quote from Reverend Michael Beckwith. Where there is a will, there is a wall that we're pushing. Where there is a willingness, which means we're open to a higher truth, there is a willingness of spirit, and then there's a way. So friends, be willing to do what Spirit calls you to do. All you got to do is listen. Sounds simple, but it is. And it's easy here because we're surrounded by like minds. And do it in trust and in faith, and always from love. Always from love. So I'd like you to say and repeat after me. I let go of that which was.
I let go of that which was.
I am willing to live.
I am willing to live.
Really live.
Really live.
And do it in love.
And do it in love.
And so it is.
So it is. Okay.